It is finally nice weather season. It is June and I am back with another episode of what seeds you can be direct sowing, and I've got 17 for you today. Now, if you're in colder areas and June is hit, that means that you're hopefully past your last frost day and you are just getting out all of your vegetables that you were starting inside and your flowers and herbs. And so this video is going to be perfect for you to know what you can also be direct sowing. If you're new here, my name is Bree from Urban Gardening Canada and I garden in Ottawa Zone 5. I'm going to be taking you through 17 seeds you can be direct sowing. They're vegetables, herbs, and flowers. So we've got all of them in here today. So I did want to mention that when it comes to direct sowing in the summer months, so June, July, and August, it's a lot more difficult to get your seeds to germinate than it is inside because the outside is obviously way less controlled than what you're doing inside. So this means that you have to regularly be watering your seedlings and your seeds. And if it's really hot outside, say above 30 degrees Celsius, I'll put Fahrenheit here below, you want to make sure that you're watering it potentially a couple times a day or finding a way to keep the moisture in the soil, because your seeds need to stay consistently moist in order to be germinating. And then of course, with really hot temperatures, if you get a heat wave, it's going to affect the germination rate. And so oftentimes I like to sow seeds indoors because I have better control of them, and then I will transplant them outside. But this does require electricity from your lights, space, indoor water, your time and effort, hardening them off. So direct sowing is a better option. It's just you have to adjust how you're watering and maintaining your seeds in these summer months in order to get a good germination rate. So just keep that in mind when we talk about these seeds in this video. But before I get into those direct sow seeds, there is one vegetable that you should have been starting inside in May that you can be planting out in June now, and that is Brussels sprouts. So if you started those in May, you can plant them anytime in June now. And the reason that you want to be starting them in May and planting them in June is so that way by the time they have grown the actual Brussels sprouts on the plant, you're getting cold weather and potentially and hopefully your first frost, and that hit of frost is going to sweeten the flavor of your Brussels sprouts. If you haven't gotten to it yet, I say give it a go. Plant yourself some Brussels sprout seeds inside in the beginning of June right now, and then get them out by the end of June. And I think it's totally worth the experiment, and I think you should give it a go. All right, let's talk about the seeds that you can be direct sowing. And the first one is a classic, and that is bush beans or pole beans. This is what I put in my garden anytime that there's space available, because they're just so easy to grow from seed outdoors, and they are such a good producer. So if you have anywhere to climb up, then I recommend a pole bean variety. But if you don't grow vertical, I'm not a big vertical growing fan, so I like to grow bush beans, and anytime there's space, I stick bush beans in the ground. And so June is a great time to get some out. Next up is cucumber, and if you grow in a shorter growing zone like zone 5 or colder, there are varieties out there that are going to have a shorter days to maturity, but I really recommend trying to direct sow cucumbers outside for two different reasons. The first one is a lot of people have really good results from direct sowing their cucumbers outside versus transplanting them. And so you might get a way better harvest out of your direct sown cucumbers. And the second is that if you get really bad cucumber beetles, by direct sowing them in June, there is a good chance that by the time your cucumber plant is flowering, the cucumber beetles have finished their first generation of going from larva to adulthood. And therefore, when your plant is flowering, there are no cucumber beetles around. So this is a good way to try and get cucumbers without having to battle cucumber beetles all season long. And the other thing is if the cucumber beetles didn't find a cucumber in your property in time, they're not going to lay their eggs around. So that means next year you might have less of a population. You can direct sow zucchini. So that's the third vegetable. Trying to direct sow zucchini in June does the exact same thing. There's a good chance that you can beat the cucumber beetle by planting later in the season. Now, I have tried to direct sow zucchini over multiple years, and I haven't had the greatest results with it. the plant never gets quite as large as it is when I've started it inside, and I will only get maybe 1 or 2 zucchinis on it, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try direct sowing it. So for this year, if you've never done it before, I would recommend trying it out because it's a great way to take up space in your garden if you have unused space. And again, you can try and outbeat the cucumber beetle and see if you can get a later harvest off of them when the cucumber beetles aren't around. And again, you're going to want to look for a variety that has a shorter days to maturity, just so that way, if you do have a short growing season like I do, by direct sowing in June, you still have enough time for the plant to mature and produce fruit for you. And the other thing that I want to mention quickly is that this is also really great because the squash vine borer takes out zucchinis all the time for me. It's the worst. So if you grow zucchini by direct sowing it, this is one thing that I know is true, is that every year I maybe only get a couple fruit off my zucchini, but the later sown ones never get killed by the squash vine borer. And I think that's because the plant is a lot smaller, so it just doesn't look like a good place for them to lay their eggs. And so when my larger plants die from the squash vine borer, the smaller plants actually take that space up and start producing for me. So I do recommend at least experimenting and trying to direct sow some in June. Next up is corn, and you might think that I'm bananas for suggesting doing this, but last year I watched a video that M.I. Gardner did where he said, let's plant some corn late in the season. I think it was like July or August that he did it, and sure, his temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer than we have here in Canada, but I was like, hey, let's go for it. And so I planted corn in my allotment sometime in July or August, and let me tell you, I actually harvested corn in October. So I went away on a vacation to Turkey in October of last year, and when I came back, it was freezing cold, but there was actually corn. And so if you think it's wild to try and direct sow corn in June, I still recommend doing it. And especially for anybody in colder zones than I am here in Ottawa, you couldn't be planting out until now anyways, so it doesn't seem that crazy to be planting out corn right now, but I definitely recommend direct sowing it now and testing out just how late you can push a corn planting and still be able to get corn. So the next ones that I'm going to be talking about are your basic ones that you would expect to hear about in terms of succession sowing, and that is where you're going to be planting every few weeks in order to make sure that you have a continuous harvest. And so the first one is carrots. So you can be sowing this one to make sure that when your other carrots are ready to be harvested, you have more coming. And now the thing with planting carrots in June is that you want to make sure that they're always well watered, because carrot seeds need the moisture in order to germinate. And so it's important that during June, when you might be getting a little bit less rainfall, that you're consistently watering. You can also water them and cover them with a plastic or a piece of plywood or something that helps keep the water in the soil longer. And then you just have to make sure to check that they've germinated, that you pull it off in time. But this is a way that you can help keep moisture in. But otherwise, if you do plan on planting carrots throughout the remainder of these months, it's really important to make sure that they stay moist until they start germinating. And then next up is beets. Again, this is a great succession plant. So if you've started beets earlier in the spring when it was cooler, now is a great time to get your next round of them in the garden. So that way, once you harvest the first ones, you've come up for these second ones here. And a lot of times beets come in compound seeds, which means more than one plant is inside of the seed. So when you do plant them, make sure that once they've germinated, that you are pricking out these plants to give them space, because since they grow as bulbs, you want to make sure that each beet has enough space to grow to size, or else you're just going to end up with a bunch of tiny little beet seedlings, and that isn't really what you're looking for. Next up are your greens such as arugula or lettuce. Again, this is another direct sow one. If you are going to be direct sowing lettuce in the summertime, make sure to find a variety that is more heat tolerant or drought resistant, because otherwise you're just going to be sowing lettuce seeds that are bolting in the heat of the summertime, aka they're going to seed because it's so hot out. And so when you do plant lettuce, look for a more of a summer variety that is going to get you what you want, or you can get the loose leafy green varieties that just have the small little leaves that you pick off versus a full head such as romaine, because those ones are less likely to bolt and you'll be able to get more off of those ones. Next up is radishes, another one that is quick to grow that you can just throw in the ground in some space. Again, with the heat of the summer, you do want to make sure that you keep these ones well watered as they're growing. The drier you leave them, the more spicy they get. So if you don't really love that peppery flavor, make sure to be consistently watering them, especially if your season is dry. So the last vegetable is kale, and this is one that you can also be adding to your garden, especially if you didn't plant a lot in the springtime. They don't go to seed very easily, which makes them really good for these hot temperatures. And so find a variety that you love and direct sow it. So before we get into the herbs and flowers, I did want to mention my gardening course that I have, and it's all about building a stronger garden. Who knows what the season is going to be bringing this year, whether it's forest fires, droughts, winds, heavy rains. We don't know what's coming. And so it's really important that right now you set up your garden to be able to handle whatever weather is going to get thrown at it. And it's really important that you do set up your garden in a specific way to handle all of these types of weather. And so these are the things that I go through in my course. My course is filled with over 100 tips that you can take directly with you in the garden. And I mean, literally, there is a workbook that you can download that has all of the tips, plus a checklist on whether you've been working on them or if you have to work on them. And so it's a really hands-on course. And because it's self-paced, you can start it at any time and work your way through it during the gardening season. And if you wanted to check out a free preview of it, I will put it in the link below. And let's get into the herbs now. So the truth is that a lot of herbs can actually be direct sown in June, but I'm just going to talk about 3 of them specifically in this video. And the first one is basil. Basil loves the hot temperatures of the summer, so this is a really good one that you can be direct sowing. Remember though that the seeds are really small, so if you are going to throw them into the garden, you are going to have to prick them out and make sure that they have proper spacing, because they do need about 6 to 10 inches of space around each plant if you really want to get it big. I did post a video on how to grow big bushy basil, so if you haven't seen that one yet, I will put a link to that below. The next one is dill. In my opinion, dill is a perfect herb to be putting in your garden. Even though it is a cooler season crop, if you put it in the garden now and it goes to flower, those flowers are super beneficial to a lot of insects, and it also is a host plant to the black swallowtail butterfly if you have that in your area. And so I like to keep dill in my garden all the time because I love being a host to different insects. And also I just really like to eat dill too, and I want to have it fresh in my garden when pickling season comes around, and that is hard to do if you're not planning for it. So adding dill to your garden in June is a great time to be doing it. So the last herb is cilantro, and this one, it really depends on your weather, because cilantro is a cool season crop and it will go to flower really quickly if it's too hot out. So finding a space that gets afternoon shade is really good for them if you get hot summers. If it's still cool in your area, cilantro is a perfect herb to be direct sowing right now. And even if your cilantro does go to flower, insects just love cilantro flowers. It's perfect for parasitic wasps and all of those other smaller insects. And even if you don't like eating cilantro, it's still really good for the insects, so you can put it in there. But we're big cilantro fans over here, and so I make sure to include it in every single video. All right, let's talk about the flowers that you could be direct sowing, and the first one is nasturtium. Of course, I talk about this flower all the time because I absolutely love it. It's super beautiful. The insects like it. It's fully edible from the stems to the flowers to the leaves to the seed pods even, and it just looks beautiful in gardens. And so if you haven't gotten any in your garden yet, I recommend direct sowing it, and I especially recommend sowing it on the edges of your garden bed, so that way it can flow out and just give this beautiful color to the edges of your garden with all the vegetables on the inside. Next up is calendula. This is a cool season crop, which means that if you plant it now, it's going to start flowering in a couple months from now, and it's going to go right into your first frost date. And so adding this one to your garden means that you will have blooms later in the season, which is good for both looks, but also for the insects who are going to be looking for pollen later in the season. All right, if you haven't started this one yet, sunflowers are perfect to be starting now as well, because they also are a fall flower. you often see sunflowers being sold later in the season. And so that means you have time to start them now. So if you missed doing sunflowers, direct sowing them is a really easy way to be growing them because they are so simple to grow. The only thing you want to be careful of is that squirrels really love sunflower seeds, both as the seed and as the seedling. And so when you do plant them, you want to put some kind of protection over them, whether it's a cage of some kind that you've built or any type of cover. This just allows them time to germinate before getting dug up. And once they turn into small seedlings, it protects them until they're a little bit larger to handle any type of squirrel damage. Next up is pansies, and I know that this is much of a spring flower that you tend to buy, but they love the cool season, which means that they're going to bloom all the way into fall for you as well. And so sowing pansy seeds outside right now means that they will slowly start to grow and they will flower for you later in the season. When everybody else's flowers are dying, yours are just going to get started. And the final flower is snapdragons. And again, this is also another cool loving plant. So if you sow the seeds now, they will grow all summer long and be ready to flower come August, September, October. And because they love the cool weather, you will have beautiful blooms late in the season. And that means you've got calendula, pansies, snapdragons all blooming around the same time as each other. So while everybody's thinking about putting their garden to bed in the fall, yours will just be bursting into flower at that exact moment. And that makes for a beautiful fall garden for both you, your neighbors to look at, and for any pollinators that are still around. And those are all of the seeds that you can be direct sowing in June. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out this video here. Bye.